53% of all vehicles sold in China, a bit close to 54%, were NEVs, either EREVs, plug-in hybrids, or fully electric. But of all those cars, 60% were fully electric. 30% were plug-in hybrids and 10% were EREVs. So you can see here, kind of surprising to see this after the incredible success of Xiaomi's EVs. I mean, Xiaomi has pre-orders for who knows how long for the SU7 or the SU7, more than 300,000 pre-orders. Wild, just crazy. Never seen this kind of pre-orders before in China. We've seen massive numbers from some companies. Xpeng's Mona, that got a lot of pre-orders. I mean, I think that was like 60,000. We've seen a couple of other cars around in that range there, but nothing like this before. So it's kind of surprising to see Xiaomi say, you know what, this model's working incredibly well for us. We're massive success, but now we're going to do, instead of an EV, our next car is going to be a hybrid. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. In June, 60% of all new energy vehicles sold in China, which made up 53% of all sales. So 53% of all vehicles sold in China, a bit close to 54%, were NEVs, either EREVs, plug-in hybrids, or fully electric. But of all those cars, 60% were fully electric. 30% were plug-in hybrids and 10% were EREVs. So you can see here, electric car sales are actually growing faster than hybrid sales in China. And I really think that people are going to move away from these hybrids within a few years' time, like they have in Norway, where 97% of sales are not hybrids at all. They're EVs, 97%. So yeah, interesting to see manufacturers go after what I think is short-term success. However, this does look like a pretty big vehicle. Maybe that's why Xiaomi have decided to make the YU9 SUV, which looks big and boxy, and apparently will have massive range. It's going to be an EREV. So Xiaomi's next vehicle, probably called the YU9, was spotted recently as per Car News China undergoing road tests. It's unconfirmed by the company what the actual name is, but it's going to come with an EREV powertrain instead of an EV or plug-in hybrid. The YU9's development appears to come amid incredible sales. I mean, within 18 hours, the YU7 got more than 240,000 orders. The new YU7, which is the new SUV. And I mean, we're talking pre-orders where people actually paid money to get this vehicle. And I think there's now 300,000 orders. Anyhow, the new vehicle looks like it'll be a 6 or 7 seat SUV around 5.3 meters long. So this is a big, quite a large vehicle. And it'll target maybe even cars like the Toyota Land Cruiser in markets where both cars are on sale. But ultimately, it's going to go up against probably other Chinese vehicles like Li Auto's L9, the new Zeekr 009, the Auto M9, all nines, aren't they? 999. But interestingly, Xpeng also are working on a similarly sized plug-in hybrid as well. So it's most likely going to use, according to Car News China, a 1.5 litre turbocharged engine, likely supplied by Dong'an Power, with a dual motor all-wheel drive layout. And this setup will be used, it's using the Li L9. It delivers 400 horsepower, 0 to 100 in about 5 seconds. Nothing spectacular, but I guess the main point here is that it's relatively efficient. Apparently, CLTC EV-only driving range is around 200 kilometers, probably real world closer to 100 kilometers, but combined range is 1,500 kilometers, which is quite a lot. In addition, it's going to have pretty fast charging, as some of the better new hybrids, particularly EREVs in China, are using 800 volt platforms to deliver proper fast charging. As you know, plug-in hybrid charging, it's really slow. I don't really understand why. Not all of them, but most of them have really slow charging, which I think is a strange decision. However, some of the newer models coming from Geely and also this vehicle should have charging speed around 400 kilowatt with that 800 volt platform. So what else do we know about it? Well, it looks boxy. I can't really see what it looks like, so I can't make too much of a decision, but it looks like it could have a roof-mounted LiDAR unit. And the idea, of course, would be to be able to have sort of something like Tesla's autopilot. Probably not full self-driving, but should have something like Tesla's autopilot. In addition to that, in terms of the interior, if you want to see what the interior is going to look like, we'll have a look at the Xiaomi SU7. The interior should be fairly similar to that. It'll have the same operating system, the HyperOS operating system, which integrates with Xiaomi's smart home ecosystem. A lot of people have that, and that's probably one of the reasons why they sell so well in China. The U9 will also be Xiaomi's first vehicle to offer 6 or 7 seat layouts, meaning 2 seats plus 2 plus 2, or you can have 2 seats obviously in the front, 3 in the middle, and then 2 in the back. And as you can see, it'll have a lot of boot space, which is very different to the Xiaomi SU7 and the U7. Both the U7 and the SU7, very small boot space. I mean, even the U7, it's a large electric SUV. It's 5 meters long, but it's obviously designed as more of a style car, more of a fashion car, not really such a practical car. So the boot space is smaller than pretty much every other electric car that size. It does look cool though, you got to admit. So what's the pricing going to be? Well, apparently pricing will sit approximately around the $57,000 to $60,000 US mark, which is where its rivals are sitting at. I mean, ultimately we don't know yet because pricing obviously hasn't been revealed yet, but that's going to be the approximate numbers we're going to see. So when is it going to come to market? Finally, this is probably the most interesting part. Social media sources in China are saying it's coming in 2026. That's the most likely scenario. However, I mean, they could delay it. It's very possible because if you've got more than 300,000 pre-orders, it could, who knows? I mean, it could be 350,000 by now. Wouldn't you want to work on getting those to customers before they cancel their orders? I mean, that's what sort of happened with the Cybertruck, right? It took too long to get to market, I think was part of the issue. If you take too long to get to market, what happens to those 350,000 pre-orders? They buy something else. Personally, I'd prefer to get an Xpeng G7, for example, because it's just, I think, a better vehicle than the U7. Now, maybe not more stylish, but an actual better vehicle in the real world. And I think the issue is, by the time you actually deliver, say, these cars in 18 months, and people on this massive wait list, in 18 months' time from now, there's going to be other models available. There's going to be better options. The Zeekr 7X, for example. That's another car that people might consider. So that could happen. And that would lead me to think that maybe Xiaomi will not focus too heavily on getting this to market quickly, but focus more on producing cars for all those pre-orders they actually have already. I could be wrong though. Guys, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about Xiaomi's going down the route of an EREV, not a plug-in hybrid, but an EREV? I think an EREV is better than a plug-in hybrid. I think it makes more sense, in my opinion, particularly for large cars. But, I mean, not everyone agrees with me. In fact, a lot of people vehemently disagree with me. Those people own plug-in hybrids, I should point out. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.